The simple reason you're not saving money has nothing to do with how much you earn. At least, that's what I used to believe. For years, I told myself the same story. If I earned a little more, I'd finally start saving. If I got a better job, saving would be easy. If my bills were lower, I'd have money left over. And honestly, it sounded reasonable. The problem was, every time my income increased, my savings stayed almost exactly the same. A raise came. Nothing changed. A bonus arrived. Nothing changed. Extra money appeared. And somehow, it disappeared just as quickly. That confused me, because according to my theory, more income should have solved the problem. But it didn't. And that's when I discovered something uncomfortable. The simple reason I wasn't saving wasn't my income. It was my habits. That realization was difficult to accept. Because blaming income felt easier. Blaming habits meant taking responsibility. And responsibility can be uncomfortable. But responsibility is also powerful. Because once you understand the real problem, you can finally fix it. I remember looking at my bank account one evening. Not for a few seconds. Really looking, transaction after transaction. Purchase after purchase. Month after month. And slowly, a pattern appeared. I wasn't saving because I treated saving like an afterthought. Something I would do later. Something I would do if money happened to be left over. Something I would do after every other expense was handled. The problem? There was almost never anything left over. Because money naturally flows wherever attention goes. And my attention wasn't on saving. It was on spending. Bills. Subscriptions. Entertainment. Convenience. Impulse purchases. Little rewards after stressful days. None of them seemed dangerous individually. But together, they quietly consumed my future savings. That's when I learned one of the most important financial lessons of my life. Most people don't save what's left after spending. They spend what's left after saving. That single idea changed everything. Because before that moment, saving felt optional. After that moment, saving became a priority. And priorities get funded. The next month, I tried something different. The moment my paycheck arrived, I moved money into savings first. Not a huge amount. Just something. Before touching anything else. Before spending. Before planning purchases. Before convincing myself I deserved a reward. And something surprising happened. The money stayed there. Because I never gave myself the opportunity to spend it. That sounds simple. Because it is. But simple doesn't mean easy. Especially at first. Because saving money isn't really a financial challenge. It's often an emotional challenge. Think about it. Buying something creates an immediate reward. Saving creates a delayed reward. Human beings naturally prefer immediate rewards. That's why saving feels difficult. You're sacrificing today's pleasure for tomorrow's benefit, and tomorrow always feels far away. That's where many people struggle. Not because they don't understand saving. Because they're fighting human psychology. I know I was. Every time I saved money, part of me wanted to spend it. Not because I needed something. Because spending feels good. At least temporarily. New purchases create excitement. Anticipation. Pleasure. But those feelings fade quickly. That's the trap. Many people spend money chasing feelings. Not value. And feelings are expensive. The funny thing is, I wasn't trying to sabotage my finances. Most people aren't. They're simply making small emotional decisions repeatedly. And repeated decisions become habits. Those habits eventually become financial outcomes. That's why the simple reason you're not saving may have nothing to do with math. It may have everything to do with behavior. For years, I focused on earning more money. And earning more money helped. But behavior mattered more. Because without behavioral change, income increases simply create larger spending opportunities. That's called lifestyle inflation. And it's one of the biggest threats to financial progress. The moment income increases, expenses quietly follow. A slightly nicer apartment. A slightly newer phone. more dining out, more convenience, more subscriptions. Nothing dramatic. Just gradual upgrades. The problem is, those upgrades often grow faster than savings. And suddenly, years pass without meaningful financial progress. That's exactly what happened to me. I wasn't poor. I wasn't reckless. I was simply drifting. Money came in. Money went out. And I rarely questioned the process. Awareness changed that. Awareness changes everything. Because once you become aware of your habits, you gain the ability to change them. That's when I stopped asking, how can I save more? And started asking, why am I spending? That question revealed a lot. Sometimes I spent because I was stressed. Sometimes I spent because I was bored. Sometimes I spent because everyone around me was spending. Sometimes I spent because I wanted to feel successful. Those motivations had nothing to do with necessity. They were emotional. And emotional spending is difficult to control until you recognize it. Once I started recognizing those patterns, saving became easier. Not because I suddenly became disciplined. Because I became aware. Awareness creates choice. And choice creates better decisions. Over time, small savings started accumulating. At first, the amounts looked insignificant. Almost disappointing. But that's another mistake people make. They underestimate small beginnings. Everyone wants dramatic progress. Huge savings. Massive transformations. Instant financial freedom. Real life rarely works that way. Most financial success is built slowly. Very slowly. Then eventually, the results become impossible to ignore. That's why consistency matters so much. A small amount saved every month may not feel exciting. But repeated consistently, it becomes powerful. The same principle works in reverse. A small amount wasted repeatedly becomes expensive. Everything compounds. Good habits compound. Bad habits compound. Financial decisions compound. That's why saving isn't about perfection. It's about direction. The goal isn't to save perfectly, the goal is to save consistently. Looking back now, the simple reason I wasn't saving wasn't because I lacked money. It was because I lacked intention. I wasn't telling my money where to go. So it found places to go on its own. And money always finds somewhere to go. That's why planning matters. Not complicated planning. Simple planning. Knowing your priorities. Knowing your goals. Knowing what future you're trying to build. Because once you have a clear destination, saving starts making sense. You're no longer denying yourself money. You're giving yourself options. Future options. Future freedom. Future security. And honestly, that's what saving really is. It's not punishment. It's preparation. Preparation for opportunities. Preparation for emergencies. Preparation for a future version of yourself that will be grateful you started today. If you're struggling to save right now, don't immediately assume income is the problem. It might be. But it might also be something simpler. A habit. A mindset. A lack of awareness. A lack of intention. The good news? Those things can change. And once they change, everything else becomes easier, because the simple reason you're not saving isn't always what you think. Sometimes, it's not about the money at all. It's about the decisions surrounding the money. And that's a lesson that can change your financial future forever. So now I'm curious, what's the biggest thing preventing you from saving money right now? Comment below. And if you enjoy videos about personal finance, money mindset, financial literacy, and building long-term wealth, subscribe. Because financial freedom doesn't start when you earn more. It starts when you become intentional with what you already have.